And we're back!
Like the Two Musketeers? So this is going to be a yearly video we do?
I guess.
Let's try to make a few more this year, huh?
Let's actually try to review a movie.
That's a good idea.
Probably.
What movie are we reviewing today?
We're reviewing The Imitation Game.
Is that the one with Benedict Cumberbatch?
I hope. Because we just watched it.
That's the one we just watched.
That's the one we just watched.
Well, we just saw The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley and Mark Strong and a bunch of other people I don't know. What was it about, Fish?
The Imitation Game was about Alan Turing.
What did he do, Fish?
He was a homosexual in the 1940s and 50s in Great Britain, and he made the first computer.
The first computer? What you got in your hand there?
That's an iPad. But the first computer, and he helped turn the tide of World War II.
By breaking the Enigma code, which was what the Germans were using to send all their secret messages about what they were going to bomb and where they were going to attack. It had the Allied forces stumped for years, and it's about his team and how they try to build the computer and the kind of obstacles they face, because the computers aren't cheap to make, and the government doesn't really like that nothing's being produced for years.
Well, sadly, one of the other obstacles they faced was the discrimination against homosexuals at that time in England, which is incredibly disgusting.
So what did we think of it, Fish?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It was absolutely interesting to see the movie from a behind-the-lines perspective. Like, I know Unbroken's in theaters right now, and my favorite movie, Saving Private Ryan. You're on the front lines of the war for the most part. Well, not Unbroken so much, but it's interesting to see the movie from the war room perspective, kind of.
Yes, yeah, we always get the soldiers on the front line. They're the war heroes. They're the reasons we win the war, and thank God for our armed forces. But it's nice to see the different side to it as well.
Not enough credit is given to the brain trust.
That's true.
Operations.
And with movies like this, it shed some. I didn't even know who Alan Turing was.
However, we're absolutely not taking away credit from the people on the front lines who risked their lives.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But,
and it's so interesting to see the struggles they go through and the relationships that build within this group and the dynamics and how they get through it. Will they crack the code? Will they not crack the code? I know it's based on a true story, but I mean, I don't think enough people know this story.
No, I think there was a reason they brought it to film. I think it partly had to do with the fact that he was gay and what he went through for being gay.
Yep.
I thought that was a big mission of the indie studios. Such in Silver Linings Playbook, it was a mission of theirs to tackle the mental health issues that we still have today, of people being discriminated because they have a mental health issue. This movie, I think, had that as a hidden plot point, but at the same time wanted people to know this story of a man who was just recently honored by Queen Elizabeth for his great act of valor.
And for his contribution to our modern day life.
Yeah.
We have so much to thank for Alan Turing for.
He built the world's first computer.
We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him.
No, well, we probably would.
Were there any flaws you had with the movie?
It got boring at sometimes for me. I kind of compared this movie to Theory of Everything, something that came out a couple months ago. Again, a really interesting movie to see the life of Stephen Hawking, but there were certain points in the movie where I was just like, I wish there was more going on in this movie as opposed to what's going on. So that personally bothered me. Not bothered me, but took away from the movie for me.
For me, there were flashbacks in the movie to when he was a kid, and while they were acted fine and the story in them was fine, for me, when they cut to them, it subtracted for me. It took me out of the movie because I was so into the storyline of them in World War II that when they went back, it detracted for me.
Sure.
So what are we giving it?
Well, I think it's time for us to introduce our new grading scale.
New grading scale.
New grading scale.
Okay. This is the fly thing. I don't know what we're doing.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Thanks for just knocking me off my feet here.
I think we both give a grade, and then we both give a grade that the audience would like.
Okay.
For instance, I'm giving the movie a 4.25. I really enjoyed the movie. The performance of Benedict Cumberbatch was great. Slow at times, but it was enough to keep me really interested, and it was a great story. However, it wasn't all there for me. It just wasn't all there for me. And my second grade will be a grade that I think the audience, the average viewer, would think of the movie. Now, when I say this, I say the type of audience that would spend $100 million opening weekend on Transformers. You know, that type of audience. I think you guys would think this was a 3.75. There's not a whole lot of action in it. There's a lot of stuff that you have to be mentally engaged in.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. If you're not the average viewer, then don't take offense to this, because I just don't see the average viewer wanting to go spend money on this when they can go spend money on Unbroken, Hobbit, Into the Woods.
For me, I'm going to give it a 4.5. I thought it was very well acted, very nice story, very well written. For me, there were just some parts where I was just not into it, but for the most part, I was loving the story. And I'm going to agree with you on the 3.75 for the average moviegoer. I think as long as you're not just expecting another war movie, you're going to enjoy it.
Okay. Well, hopefully our next video won't be in 2 years.
I'm D,
And I'm the Fish.
and this is our movie show.
You stay classy, YouTube.